Hey guys, in our last video we talked about how to write good body paragraphs. And as you're writing your body paragraphs, you've got to cite your sources. You know that. It's the only way to avoid plagiarism. However, as you start writing your paper, students oftentimes run into questions about what is the proper way to cite sources. Sure, last week when I showed my video, my sources I used had an author's last name. That's pretty straightforward. And if I go to my online resource page, I see that my first source does go by author's name. But what do you do if you've got sources that look like this, where it's not an author's name, but it's the title of an article? Well, actually, the rule is not that you use an author's last name. The rule is you use whatever is the first piece of information in a source citation. So as I look at these citations, this is the first piece of information that I'm finding in each one of these. For source number 1, it happens to be an author's last name. For source number 2, it happens to be the title of this article. And for source number 3, it also happens to be the title of the article. So what do? Well, I'll show you. If you look at my paper here, I've used a quote that actually comes from my second source. Not only should teaching digital citizenship be required, it should become the primary lens through which our children view the world. Well, to use that citation, it's my second source. I'm going to use this article title, and I have to include the quotation marks because that's how it appears. So to save time, I'm just going to copy that, then I know it's going to be done correctly. I'm going to go to the start of my parentheses, and I'm going to paste it in there. Then I will end my parentheses and my sentence with the period. And now my citation, as you can see, is not an author's last name, but is the title of an article. A short while later, you see in my paper I've got another quote that I need to cite. Technology used wisely is a phenomenal tool. Oh, there's a typo there. Is a phenomenal tool that can transform learning, but used inappropriately, it can have an enormously negative impact on kids. I need to cite that quote. That quote actually comes from my third source. This article here highlights from Tech and Learning's June Summit, Fostering Digital Citizenship, a School District's Role. Phew, really long title, but rules state I need to cite that first piece of information. So I'm just going to copy that. I've got my parentheses started, so I'm just going to paste it in there. Really long. Close my parentheses off, end my sentence. Again, I know it's really long, but it's a simple copy and paste function. So even though it's a long citation, it does not take me very long to put that in there, especially since I've got all of my sources listed on my online resource page. And again, I'm just going to continue to do that as I go through my paper. For my 3 sources, anytime I use something, it's either going to be this author's last name if it's from source number 1. It's going to be this article title if it's from source number 2, including the quotation marks. Or it's going to be this article title if it's from source 3, again, including the quotation marks. Keep that up and you'll do a nice job of creating a polished and beautiful looking research paper.